Welcome to The Analyst. My name is Jacob. Before I dive into ordinals and inscriptions for today, Galaxy Digital, a cryptocurrency group led by U.S. billionaire Mike Novogratz, says a spot Bitcoin ETF will be approved before January 10th. Let me play his opinion on this clip.
A little victory lap. Listen, the Fed's pivot is really important. That press conference was as dovish as anybody expected, and the markets are behaving that way. You look at fixed income markets, equity markets, they all are now trading a Fed pivot. And is it March, January, or do they wait till the April meeting? We'll see. We'll see what their narrative is. We'll see what the inflation data is. But this is all based on inflation coming down, and it's not based on growth collapsing. And so they shifted to a more inflation-focused Fed, which gives them the room to cut rates. I think crypto likes it. We're going to get this ETF before January 10th. That's kind of the drop-dead date that Gensler has before he gets in trouble with Grayscale and the lawsuit. And so I think you're going to see this, announced. It won't start trading then, right? That probably takes 6 to 8 weeks after that. But it's just more fuel for a fire.
Now, I always want to give you guys the best macro news so you can play these next few weeks intelligently ahead of the spot Bitcoin ETF and start to connect the dots. For example, Federal Express just missed earnings despite showing strong holiday season results. Adjusted earnings were $3.99 versus expected of $4.14. So what does this mean or reflect? Well, Federal Express is a good barometer of how strong the holiday season is when it comes to consumer purchases. So if Federal Express is struggling to meet expectations in this current climate, more than likely other sectors of the economy will be feeling the pain, such as the retail sector, dining, and banking. And the most critical earnings season going into January is aligned with, guess what? Yes, the possible launch of the spot Bitcoin ETF. For example, several major banks will be releasing earnings that same week, which includes JP Morgan, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citigroup, and BlackRock, just to name a few. And typically, when these banks do not match or beat expectations on your earnings call, the equity market will not look too favorable. And a not so strong equities market typically bleeds and impacts cryptocurrencies. That is the domino effect. So be on the lookout for that. Also, right now, as we speak, the United States of America is going through border problems and migration issues in the state of Arizona and Texas. This could be a security risk going into the 2024 election. And I'll let your imagination run from there. So if we see any major event, well, you heard it here first. And that would be bad for all markets. Regardless of these looming obstructions, today the crypto market was up. Mostly layer 1s and 2s such as Solana and Avalanche were up for the day, leaving the entire cryptocurrency market to escape that big hole from the correction that occurred a few days ago. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Bitcoin ordinals like TRAC, SATS, and ORDI have remained relatively strong ever since Bitcoin broke past $40,000. And there's news of TRAC pushing forward with integration into the Dogecoin ecosystem. What this reflects is the creative, viral nature of a community and how it can grow in a positive direction that benefits them and other ecosystems. I spoke about this several videos ago on if these ordinal communities can establish themselves and then create a use case, they will remain relevant and strong. Now, what TRAC is doing is using the power of leverage. Let me explain. This type of integration can extend itself to the Litecoin ecosystem as well and possibly bring back hope to the Litecoin community, as they have been lost since the last bull market under Charlie Lee. Let's look at month to date for TRAC. They are up an impressive 137% with a market cap that is 1/10 the size of ORDI and SATS. So I believe there is still a lot of upside with TRAC as far as reaching out to as many holders that are out there and also as a function of market cap growth at the end of the day. Not financial advice, just my opinion. And yet to date, both ORDI and SATS have been crushing their own markets since this summer. Now, what's the big deal with ordinals and inscriptions? The answer is it's another narrative that people are jumping into and the constant ebbs and flow of money moving from one thing to another, which was crypto, gaming, and now memes along with inscriptions. Majority of these movements are mostly retail and speculator driven, but the excitement started with Bitcoin and is now growing to other ecosystems such as Avalanche and Dogecoin. Let me share with you some metrics here. When going to the DRC20 page, where DRC stands for anything encrypted under the Dogecoin symbol or brand, this market stands at a market cap of $100 million with a 7-day volume of 1.5 million, which is not too bad as a young ecosystem. And if I hop over to the Avalanche network, guess how much the fees were these past few days? Headline says here that Avalanche users paid $13.8 million in fees for inscriptions over 5 days. Crazy. I'm not making this stuff up. So right now, the Avalanche ecosystem is benefiting from a lot of things. You have crypto gaming from Myria, connections to the TradFi ecosystem via their Republic Note token, and right now with Ordinals, where its network is currently getting stress tested at the moment. And in a recent video, I presented to you guys ICP. Think of it as the intelligent TCP of the internet, but for blockchain technology. Now, why is ICP relevant to this whole conversation with respect to ordinals and inscriptions and so forth? To me, it is simply because these networks such as Bitcoin and Avalanche might not have the bandwidth to deal with all the traffic, and your developers might see it as annoying. For example, I spoke about how one Bitcoin dev hated all things ordinals because it was spamming the network and raising transaction costs through the roof in this video you see right here with Jamie Dimon. And so that is the power of ICP and how it can help. And I will read it from the horse's mouth as it is stated. Combining these building blocks, ICP canisters can directly and securely hold, receive, and send Bitcoin seamlessly as if the internet, computer, and the Bitcoin network were one blockchain. Emphasis on one blockchain. Another way of looking at it is that the Bitcoin integration is the same as running a Bitcoin node on a chain. So guys, if inscriptions are tired of being ran on some cloud operating mining station or farm, then they can be hosted and ported over on ICP, where the inscriptions can be ran with a switch of a command. If this can be done with Bitcoin on ICP, think of the potential here as it can be done on Ethereum, Avalanche, Dogecoin, and any chain out there making ICP a growing technological organism. Now, I know of several ICP social communities out there, so I just want to speak to one in particular. ICP is agnostic to whatever chain. There's no maximalism. If it is meant to stand alone as its own thing, but it is better because it can bridge to other chains and incorporate those chains and your projects as well. So I would not go about personally bashing other projects because it makes no sense. You could think of ICP as simply as its own computer with its own software, but better. So if I don't want to run Windows 10, for example, I could run something else on top of it, like an Apple virtual machine. So if we can expand the narrative of ICP as a community and create that agnostic look and feel, it could bring everyone from all the various communities into one umbrella, which is on ICP. And that is good for everyone that's involved in the community as well. Now, aside from ICP, my last word for the day is there is so much stuff coming out of the crypto market where there is a token called garbage coin and these cat coins that are coming out of nowhere, reaching new highs, and you don't have to chase every single coin, guys, if that's your thing. But if you want to think ahead of everyone else on what low market cap ordinal meme or social coin that can benefit from a trade without holding the bag end of the day, they go into established crypto communities and get involved. They have these degen types of conversations all the time and figure out which ones have respectable knowledge of the space in terms of narrative. Also, again, look at what narratives these projects are running with. For example, let me take a look at Jesus Coin. They have a token burn of 80% on Christmas Day. So the visual notes here is attractive in terms of days until XYZ. You also have tokens like Doge-1